The views and opinions expressed by the guest author or speaker during this live session are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Reader's Magnet. The content shared is for informational purposes only and does not constitute endorsement or promotion of any particular belief, ideology, or product.
Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to RM Hive, a Reader's Magnet featured author interview. This is QR, and I'm your host. Yes, today I'm excited to introduce an author whose life journey is a true testament to resilience and growth. Born in Buffalo in 1937, he faced early challenges, including being kidnapped as a baby and raised in multiple environments. He found his sense of family and direction through athletics, which led him to various educational and career paths, including coaching, speaking, and eventually becoming a psychodynamic psychotherapist. He lives in rural New Hampshire with his wife of 41 years, Robin, where he enjoys reading, observing wildlife, and tending to his gardens. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Paul and Robin MacVittie. Hello, lovely couple. How are you?
Mighty fine.
Thank you, QR.
All right. You're very much welcome. I'm very much excited to have you both on set, right? It's lovely to have a couple for an interview. Okay. For those who are watching us live, Dr. Paul MacVittie and of course with Robin MacVittie, they wrote the book Learn, Labor, Love, Laugh, Live. A father's daily thoughts to his son. What an interesting title. Now let's get this started. Dr. Paul, what is the book all about?
What the book is all about is how
Mhm.
you think determines how you're going to live. And if you think positively, that's going to have positive results. And if you think negatively, that's going to have negative results. So the key is how you think. And that's a principle across the board in every psychology I've ever read or every religion that I ever listened to.
That's so true. Choices shape who we become, and our decisions determine our path in life,
You got
right?
that right. That's a bullseye.
Yes. Dr. Robin, I know you have a very important role in the fruition of this book. What is the inspiration behind the book?
Well, when our son went off to boarding school, my husband maintained his mentorship, his loving counseling, encouragement to our son by sending a daily encouraging thought to him. And
Mm,
once it started being sent by email, there were people who wanted to get copies of it. So not only were these sent to our son, but to a variety. Now there's to this day, there's over 100 people who get copies of these daily thoughts. And so many people said, you ought to write a book. So I am the one, my husband writes these daily thoughts. We call them TFTs, thought for today.
thought for today.
And
Okay.
thought for today. And I'm the one who went through many years and took out some of the best and put them in form, in chapters, themes, uh, various themes. So I'm the one who put the book together because our people had asked to get a book. So that's what
Mm.
inspired me to take his thoughts and put them in a book form.
Interesting because people really reached out to you and would love to, get that thought for the day, right? A supplementary thoughts, daily supplementary thoughts, right? What was, if you can recall, what was the most impacting, right? What was the most impacting message that you received from someone after they get to read these thoughts?
Um, so often these days, someone will say that just hit a chord. They'll respond to a message and say, I needed that, or
Mm-hmm.
amen, or
Mm-hmm.
so he still occasionally, not every time, our son responds on a
Mm-hmm.
regularly and is grateful. But other people have various comments.
And not only that, but the topics themselves are part of reality. Learning, laboring, loving, laughing, all are part of learning how to live.
Yes. And if I'm not mistaken, this also, because this compress of you messages for Mac, wherein you're teaching him regarding topics about courtship, marriage, becoming a father, right? And with those topics, people definitely can relate to that. And not everyone has a father figure to share those things to them. With a book, right, and with the messages that Dr. Paul has written, people will have their own father through this book, right?
There's so many people who in this society who need a mentor, need a
Exactly.
father figure. And Paul has poured so much of the wisdom that he's gained through life experiences to our
Hmm.
son, but they're universal. It's really amazing how universal they are to a variety of people.
Yeah, because also the team has shared to me, even before we started, that the messages or the daily emails that you, Dr. Paul, is sending to Mac, main purpose is to make him think clearly, to live with purpose and balance, and sustain your relationship, right?
Amen.
Mm.
So it
Absolutely.
is exactly. It is a very you have a very good intention in helping your son, because you live far apart from each other, and the daily emails definitely help him through that. Yes. Now, question to both of you: What lesson, what lesson do you think will readers um learn out from this book?
Um, one of the themes throughout the book is how the choices that you make, and in every situation, you can choose how to react to
Mm,
whatever's going on. So the choices that you make determine the outcome, who you become. Um,
yes.
and that I think is empowering. It also helps people realize that what happens, you can react in a variety of different ways. But as Paul said before, healthy thinking, healthy. How can I grow from this?
Yes.
What can I learn from this? Is one of the important things that the book helps people to
This.
realize.
Your mind and the way you think helps you transcend circumstances, whether they're good, bad, or happy, and
Mhm.
gives you consistency in the way you live and the way you think.
So it's not the situation, right? It's not the situation, but it's more on how you um think, right? How you
And how
think,
you interpret the
how
situation.
you interpret the situation. And that's where your decisions, right, would come into play, and that will help you determine how you will move on with life.
Absolutely.
Well said.
All right. Okay. Um Dr. Paul, so when did you started penning this book?
When did I
When you
start?
started writing?
Well, when he went away and we, communicating within a relationship that's meaningful is critical, as you know. So I wanted to be able to communicate whether we were
Mhm.
together or far apart. And when he joined the service, we were geographically, physically far apart.
Yeah.
But by communicating mentally and psychologically, we always remained close.
Mm-hmm. Do you often get are you do you often get response from Mac?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Okay. How is Mac um taking all of these? Like, my dad has been constantly communicating with me, making sure that I'm okay, I'm good in all aspects, right? Not all parents would have the time probably or would even think of doing such. How is Mac, taking all of this? Is he happy about it?
He feels mightily blessed by it and looks
Wow.
forward to them every day.
Wow.
That's how
Because
he
sometimes,
starts his day. He starts his day. So many years ago, when he was on deployment,
hmm
Paul would send the thought for today the night before. So when he was over in the Mideast or wherever he was
hmm
stationed, he would be able to read it first thing in the morning, and he still does that
nice,
to this day. That's how he starts his day.
nice. Because sometimes, um, kids or sons, daughters, they tend to wait for parents to talk to them and ask them how they are, right? Not all kids, not all sons and daughters are very much expressive. Not everyone. And I'm glad that this parents that I'm interviewing right now are very much open to asking their son how are they, right? Because sometimes,
Absolutely.
I'm speaking from, my experience. I just hope my mom or my dad would ask me how am I. Sometimes I envy those kids whom their parents really ask them how they are. As simple as asking, "Have you already in your or had taken your lunch?" Simple as that, right? Or how's my day? How's work? Right?
Right. Well,
Okay.
other people have learned of this, and it's inspired them to have their own daily communication. So that's wonderful.
hmm Yes, so true, so true. Now, Dr. Paul, how does your background and personal experience influence what you write about?
It influences it tremendously because my background was not in a solid home situation. My
Mm-hmm.
parents had split up, and I never saw my mother until I was 18 or 19 years old.
Yeah.
And, so I have a burden to keep people communicating with one another so they can know one another and love one another.
So now you're putting everything that you can and you're showing everything that you can for Mac, things that you haven't experienced when you were young.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, before anything else, I would like to go ahead and read a comment posted on your Amazon page. All right. Um, our VP, John Carlabinas, posted a comment on your Amazon page. He bought a copy. This post was last October 4th, 2024. All right, let me take the privilege of reading the comment for you. Okay.
Go ahead.
Being a father myself, this book almost had me in tears as I was reading it. The thoughts that the thoughts that the book shares are something that I find very relatable. With this book, I'm able to see the good stuff that happens when a father can talk to his son about his thoughts, give his son some real advice, and create an honest bond with one another. If you're a father too, then I suggest getting this book as soon as you can. That's his comment.
Well, that's a great endorsement.
Yes.
And I like the fact that he's encouraging fathers to think.
He just had his second baby, I believe, just last month. He's now a father of two. Yes.
Wonderful.
All right. So, um, Please, I'm going to give you the floor and promote your book and your website. Please go ahead.
Well, this book is something that we think will be a blessing to a lot of people because it is teaching people to think in a way that will positively impact their
Mm-hmm,
lives, their own lives, the lives of those they care about.
mm-hmm,
And there's so many um, different subjects, different philosophies that are addressed that I think I was reading, looking through the book to see if there was something, uh, one that we might share in this interview. And there are
mm-hmm.
just so many. It was hard to pick out one.
Yeah.
So I just think that this is something that will appeal not just to parents, but to
Mm-hmm,
children, to those who are seeking to find purpose in their life.
mm-hmm.
So I think that's what this book will help inspire.
And also it helps people to think before they react, to react thoughtfully and coherently rather than just in a survivor mood.
Yeah, I agree. Right. Thank you for that message, Dr. Paul. Now, for those who are watching us live, you can go ahead and grab a copy of Dr. Paul MacVittie's book. It's available
Here,
on Amazon. There you go. All right. So that's again
hardback and paperback.
and paperback. Yes. All right. Book title: Learn, Labor, Love, Laugh, Live. A father's daily thoughts to his son. You
Yes.
can also go ahead and visit the website www.paulmacvittie.com. Visit the website, learn about the author, and grab a copy right now. Okay. Robin, I believe you have something to share for our audience.
I just want to read an example of one of the thoughts. Um, this was written in June of 2008. It says, "Son, there is a wonderful implication to the word partnership. In today's society, it is thought of in terms of business ventures, marriage, organizational structures, etc. However, when you use the concept in terms of one's worldview, the implication is even more dramatic. For instance, in the Christian faith, one believes in a creator. All that is a result of the creative energy of the God of the universe. This is why Einstein believed that there was an intelligence behind the forces of existence. He said in a vivid manner, I, at any rate, am convinced that he, God, is not playing at dice. What the scriptures teach us is that there is another part of creation, not just in the physical sense, but in terms of our life at its core. We are co creators with this God of the universe. We co create by the choices we make. Awesome.
Nice.
Now, this kind of partnership is incredibly reassuring for when we feel inadequate or need guidance or need to know someone has our back or is a wingman that is covering our flight of life. He is there. Now, this is the kind of partnership that gives us an unbelievable sense of peace. Love, Dad.
Interesting. We co create with the choices we make.
Right.
That was the most
Absolutely.
striking line. That was the most striking line for me. Thank you so much, Dr. Paul MacVittie and Robin MacVittie, right? Author of the book Learn, Labor, Love, Laugh, Live. A Father's Daily Thoughts to His Son, available on Amazon. Right? Please make sure to grab a copy. Again, that's Learn, Labor, Love, Laugh, Live. All right. Paul, Robin, thank you so much for your time. It has been a pleasure having you on set. I'm looking forward to seeing you again in the Hive.
Do you have a
All
copy
right.
of the book?
I will sure to grab a copy like right after this session.
Thank you,
All right.
QR.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Here with Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world.
Thank you so much.